So just talk about um, just the difference between being at the helm of a choir and now venturing into your solo career.
Well, I always knew I was gifted.
Hmm.
I always heard these wonderful songs, but growing up with the references that I had for gospel music in male voices, I didn't hear anybody that sounded like me. So I would always write these wonderful songs and push other people to sing them. Always. On previous nationally released albums with groups, I may sing one song on an album of 12 to 14 songs. I just wouldn't do it because I felt in myself that that's not what the world wanted to hear. And so for years and years, hear these wonderful songs. I worked with some great people, wrote songs for Dorothy Norwood, produced a whole album for Angela Spivey and released it on my record company. The biggest song I've worked on was He Keeps His Promise with Angela Spivey. I wrote it, produced it, the whole 9 yards, but I still um, didn't feel like my voice was the voice that people wanted to hear. So I was getting ready to do another album with the church and called Fred Hammond. It was about 6, 7 years ago. And Fred was going to join me on that album. And I ended up getting frustrated by the people that I was working with. And I just called Fred back and said, Fred, I'm not doing the song. I can't do it. It's too frustrating. I'm not doing the song now. And little did I know my break that I needed would turn into a 6 year hiatus from gospel. And because life happens, and when you get frustrated, sometimes we'll allow life to happen. And then I was still pastoring, still singing on Sunday with the groups. And then my minister of music looked at me the early 2020, and he said, remember when Pastor used to get all these songs in a service, all these songs in a rehearsal? He barely writes a song now. We may get one out of him a month. And you know, when he said that, it really slapped me in the face. And I heard the voice of the Lord say, now, when are you going to do what I told you to do? And I knew that I had sat the music down and it was time to pick it back up. But when I started the first groups, I had a vision. And in the vision, I saw a group and I saw me, but I couldn't see the group members' faces. So I always thought, he said, this is not the group that I'm going to bless. So I always thought, oh, it's going to be another group. It's not going to be this group. And he doesn't want me to see the faces, so I don't treat anybody any differently who might come along because I'll know they're not in the group. Well, that's how I interpreted until 2020 and realized I had the interpretation all wrong. And the reason that I couldn't see anybody else's face is because he was waiting on me to use what was inside of me. And until I did that, it wasn't going to be as successful as it could be.